Did you know that the shortest recorded war in history lasted only 38 minutes? Yeah, you heard that right. 38 minutes. This incredible fact belongs to the Anglo-Zanzibar War, a brief yet dramatic conflict that occurred in 1896. In the time it takes to watch a TV episode, one nation was toppled and history was made. Let's dive into this fascinating and lightning-fast war that changed the course of Zanzibar's history. Welcome to Open Atlas. Today, we are traveling back to the late 19th century, a time when the British Empire was at its peak, and Zanzibar was a flourishing center of trade in East Africa. On the morning of August 27, 1896, the Anglo-Zanzibar War erupted, involving just two main players: the British Empire and the Sultanate of Zanzibar. What makes this war so remarkable is not just its brevity, but also the way it encapsulates the imperial tensions of the time. In this video, we'll explore the events leading up to this astonishing conflict, the key figures involved, and the lasting impact it had on Zanzibar and the region. So, what sparked this incredibly short but intense conflict? Well, the root of the problem lay in the imperial ambitions of the British Empire and the resistance of the Sultanate of Zanzibar. At the time, Zanzibar was a protectorate of the British Empire, but the local sultan still held considerable power. The sudden death of Sultan Hamad bin Thuwaini, who was pro-British, set the stage for conflict. His successor, Sultan Khalid bin Bargash, took the throne without British approval, defying the empire's influence. This power struggle escalated into a confrontation that would have major geopolitical implications, not just for Zanzibar, but for British interests in the region. Now let's rewind a bit and take a closer look at Zanzibar and the events leading up to the war. Zanzibar, an island off the coast of present-day Tanzania, was a thriving trade hub known for its spice trade and its strategic location along the East African coast. The island had long been under the influence of Oman, but by the late 19th century it had become a British protectorate. The British were keen to control Zanzibar due to its economic and strategic value. When Sultan Hamad bin Thuwaini, who had cooperated with the British, died suddenly on August 25, 1896, his cousin, Khalid bin Bargash, swiftly seized power. The British, however, had other plans. They preferred a different candidate who they believed would be more compliant with their interests. The British Council, Basil Cave, delivered an ultimatum to Sultan Khalid: step down by 9 a.m. on August 27th, or face the consequences. Sultan Khalid refused to back down, and instead, he fortified his palace and prepared his forces for a showdown. The British, meanwhile, assembled their warships in the harbor and readied their troops. What followed was one of the most one-sided conflicts in history. At exactly 9:02 a.m. on August 27, 1896, the British warships opened fire on the Sultan's palace. The bombardment was devastating, and within minutes the palace was in ruins. Sultan Khalid's forces, which consisted of about 2,800 men, were no match for the might of the British Navy. By 9:40 a.m., just 38 minutes after the first shot was fired, the war was over. Sultan Khalid had fled to the German consulate seeking asylum, and his forces were either killed, captured, or had surrendered. The British quickly installed their preferred candidate as Sultan, bringing the conflict to a swift and decisive end. The Anglo-Zanzibar War was over almost as soon as it began, but its effects were lasting. The British solidified their control over Zanzibar, and the Sultanate became little more than a puppet state under British rule. For the people of Zanzibar, the war marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter under colonial domination. So, what can we take away from this whirlwind of a conflict? The Anglo-Zanzibar War, despite its brevity, highlights the intense imperial rivalries of the late 19th century and the lengths to which the British Empire would go to maintain control over its territories. Zanzibar, once an independent and powerful sultanate, was reduced to a colonial outpost in the span of just 38 minutes. This war, though short, is a powerful reminder of the impact of imperialism and the fragility of power. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Open Atlas. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more historical insights. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What did you find most surprising about the Anglo-Zanzibar War? Drop a comment down below and let us know. And if you're interested in more quick but captivating historical events, check out our next video on the fastest military campaigns in history. See you next time.